Hey, Shalom, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash. I want to say double honors to our apostles who are elders, who rule well. Blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth and sincerity. This is Rob Amar for the Nebraska camp. This is GMS, any push-up mark, any for Nebraska. Yeah, man. We're in perilous times. Okay, we're in some serious times right now. Satan's moving, and guess what? It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, because all this is going to lead. Well, I ain't gonna say lead. It's already that's the momentum. The momentum is already catching way. Okay, the boulder is heading downhill in a rock slide. It just hasn't hit the bottom yet. Okay, and we're just watching it tumble towards the parking lot full of cars. So you either move it out the way, or just stay there and have your phones out. You know what I'm saying? But there's been uproars of the people. There's people protesting in Nepal. There's shootings. There's school shootings. A situation that happened on the 10th of September, not September 11th, but September 10th. If you get what I'm saying, of a Republican, and as well as other things happening amongst the world, man. Okay, and the thing is that we have to watch out, because of the wiles of the devil, okay? Ultimately, and it's all speculation with that last situation I mentioned. They're even saying, it may be an inside job. You see guys doing hat gestures and arm sleeve gestures. You see guys, you seeing, there's a airport 2 miles away from the spot, and a private jet leaves immediately after that situation happens. Countless amount of things, seeing people on the roof, pretty much wickedness and chaos. And, that's one of the wiles of the devil, via like the CIA and government oppression, because there is a conspiracy, because the CIA themselves approve of conspiracies, especially when their works beget to be declassified. Okay, so let's get this precept. 2 Ezra 4:26. Then answered he me and said, the more thou searchest, the more thou shalt marvel, for the world hasteth fast to pass away. Yeah, in a situation like this, regardless if it's inside job or actual situation, and the school shooting in Colorado, it was Colorado, this creates insurrection, and what Esau does is through his autonomy. He has full autonomy. Pretty much, he has full control, full authority, and there's nothing we can do about it. All right. He just give us the illusion via participation. It's just like, the NFL posting something saying, should we start Shador or Caleb Williams? What do you guys think? And you start voting. But they still gonna start who the hell they want to start, right? So it makes you feel like you're involved, so that alleviates, you getting aggressive or, wanting to cry foul ball, because especially in a place of democracy where everybody's supposed to have a voice, all right, they have to utilize this avenue. Even though through capitalism and the rich elite, they're the ones that are the monster behind the curtain. Okay, and it's all going to lead up to division, chaos of the people. Also seen the video, saying something about justice for whites and all that. Now it's turned into a race thing, and nobody knows, who did what, and they arrested this bald head white guy, and then you got guys stabbing on the train, like this it's just chaos. This world hastens fast to pass away. People are fed up, the numbers, the rent is too high, you know what I'm saying? That was said in damn, man. That was said a long time ago. But the rent is too damn high to this day. The medical industry is it has skyrocketed in price that it doesn't make sense to the cost of living compared to living. But then when you go to other countries and realize that the bulk of these countries have free Medicare, and one will boast, we have the most advanced and all that, But look here, man, that don't justify, all that money being spent, okay? Because you spend billions of dollars, and send that overseas in foreign affairs, and that money can be spent on those doctors to pay their salaries every year annually, okay? But they won't do that, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, they'll go into other countries and do that, and then get on TV and push a narrative that, that we are violent, and that Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are violent inherently, and that before we speak out against anything of the government or any injustice, that we should worry about our own. But here it is. America has, the most obese, the most crime, okay, as far as people in prison. Shout out to the private prisons, okay, which should raise a red flag to a lot of people, all right? A prison shouldn't be owned by private. It should be a government-funded business, because once you have a private prison, that prison has to make money, all right? They're not running off of hopes and dreams and love, all right, and trying to make the world better. They're running off of how many people are in there and how many people can make them license plates or $1,000 pieces of furniture, okay, or pick the cotton, and things like that. So, yeah, this place is given into the hands of the wicked, especially Babylon, all right? And for Esau, truth is not a destination. They're always going to move the goalposts, okay? They're always going to move the goalposts, just like with the, and they're going to lie. Just like with the food stamp and the Section 8 and stuff like that. Mainly Edomites will be affected, but then they'll use percentages as saying 39.7% is Jake and 38.blase% is Edomites, when it's hundreds of thousands of Edomites compared to thousands of Jake. And you really deal with the numbers, and you just use a certain demographic of population, because out of all of the people, they'll probably do a money line, people that make this much or whatever. And they play them type of games, man. But at the end of the day, man, this world hastens fast to pass away. The direction that Edom is going is not going to produce to life. It's not going to produce to peace. You can't keep lying and then expecting things to work out, all right? That's nowhere in life. That's not real. Now, he's a good liar. He's a consistent liar, and he has power. So when he lies, it's almost like you have to accept it, all right? He always have his catch-22. But let's continue on. It says, 2 Ezra 4:27, it says, and cannot comprehend the things that are promised to the righteous in time to come. For this world is full of unrighteousness and infirmities. You see? So there's a bunch of wickedness, especially in the past 2 days, man. But as these wickedness grow, man, you see in chariots, okay? Prophecies are coming to pass, man. As prophets, man, we like, man, look, man, stop all the posturing, man. Stop all the talking. Roll your sleeves up. You know what I'm saying? Pull your pants up and throw your hands. Just do what you're gonna do, man. Gird your loins and do what you're gonna do. Okay, but Esau is a cunning serpent, man. And serpents are patient. All right, serpents are wise. All right, and they don't come at you straight. Okay, so he's setting the stage so he can really lay that hammer down, man. But as prophets, man, we're hastening the day. All right, and I wonder what is being said by these other camps, man. All right, not the subject matter, but how are you addressing the subject matter? Okay, so and I guarantee you they're not talking about prophetically, okay, about the second coming of Yahushua and things of that nature, man. But in 2 Ezra 7:42, it says, "He answered me and said, This present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak." Yeah, okay. So continuing on, it says, "But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for it to come." And that immortality is promised to the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans only. Okay, we will receive those new bodies, even the Jake that are 2/3. They're gonna come back in their right minds, man. All right. It says, "But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past." Yeah, man. So not only is it going to be the wickedness, that portion of corruption, but our bodies being corrupt as well. All right, because we're gonna put on immortality, but the corruption, all this depth, interest, redlining, resting judgment, in unjust killings, unjust dealings, the riches gotten by deceit, okay, just, messing with, female and worry about getting sued or me too'd or, like the concept of money, is going to be depleted. All right, nobody's going to be saying I make this much an hour, and that makes me hot shit. Okay, you're going to be judged by how much work you put in on your land. All right, when you're given land and you're fucking lazy, and your ass can't grow nothing, is going to be proof in the pudding. Not saying that'll happen, but I'm just trying to give an understanding on how money makes people think that they're more important. Just like women working in HR, they ain't doing shit, but they'll pay them a good portion of money to do that job because of DEI hires, okay? And because they're making money, they feel like they're more important than a person that works with their hands, okay? But if just like I was watching this movie called Triangle of Sadness. So it's an awkward movie, man, but there was a scene in there where they were all on a yacht. The more movies based off of that, I don't really care. Jake need to, broaden their horizon, so I'll just tell a movie in a portion. They was on a yacht, and there was, rich people. There was the crew, and then there was the people that was under the boat, the house cleaners, the, people of that sort. And from every level, there was an ego for every level, right? So the rich, the guy that I sell shit, fertilizer, yeah, and then they eating, and there's then a crew, we're gonna get tips, all money. Then they're talking to the laundry people and the cleanup people and the cooks like crap, man. And the ship went down, and it crashed on this island. All right, and they thought they were stranded. Okay, end up landing on a tourist spot, but they never knew, and it was there for weeks, and nobody could navigate. But the point of it is, when they all crashed onto the boat, everybody didn't survive, but there was the 3 stages of the people did land on the island, and the lady at the bottom had all the survival skills. Okay, and she pretty much was like, who's more important? She caught that octopus, which is, an unlawful creature to eat. But the point is that she knew how to catch fish. She knew how to catch food, and she caught the food, and then in turn she was, she told him, like, the lady that was a part of the crew member tried to boss her around because of the job. It was like, we ain't working no more. It's about who got this fish or not, man. And that's a reality that people don't deal with. There's people that walk around in this world that don't that roll off their money, especially Esau and their power, and they're really lazy, man. A lot of Edomites are lazy. Okay, a lot of Edomites just know how to show up. All right, that's the only thing they know how to do: show up on time, come for their breaks on time, or sit down like women and read their books. And things like that. They don't know how to get active like that. They learn how to use their mind more than their body. And so, they get themselves in positions. And, Esau be in a situation where he always put Edom as the supervisors, that had one Jake supervisor as a taskmaster, But the fact that you could apply for the job makes it feel like you're getting involved, but they're going to always keep that system going. You see what I'm saying? But getting back to the scriptures, okay? It says in verse, I'm going to go back to verse 2 Ezra 7:43. It says, but the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for the come, wherein corruption is past. Impertinence is at an end, infidelity is cut off, righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. Yeah, and that's what we're praying and hastening towards, man. I don't see why nobody don't want to hasten towards that, okay? Where righteousness is grown and truth is sprung up, man. All right? And then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, no to oppress him that have gotten a victory. Yeah, man, because even us, we're fighting a good fight, and we're being oppressed. We're being oppressed by our own people because they're manipulated mentally. All right, they're zombies, and they believe the way we live is evil, man. Okay, because the person that's ruling is evil, right? And he's going to tell you that the way his lifestyle is good. He's telling you processed food is good. All right, he's telling you that divorcing and suing and child support and alimonies is good, okay? Which is, and it is clear as day. Everything he calls good is clear as day that it's destructive. Okay, how is the lane of divorce is so pushed when a man and a woman can get together and have children, and women are nurturers. They have breast milk, and men strong, and they could work. And you mean to tell me that it's better for them to have a system to split this up? Okay, is heavily enforced. You mean to tell me that for years and years, the medical field, they'll tell you that you're not supposed to say anything medical, give any medical advice. We got to give a disclaimer, and we have to trust in the doctors. The doctors know everything, blah, 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 blah. But all these medicines come out of earth, and when you drink a hot toddy, or when you decide to eat healthy, then you bugged out, okay? Dr. Sebi, you know what I'm saying? And you got to be eliminated, or you're stupid, or you're dumb, or you don't know what you're talking about because you didn't go to one of our schools and learn how to cure this medication how we told you how to cure it. All right? People live this far, and people like to talk about the bubonic plague. Well, all this innovation, and Jake still went down in 2020, man. All this technology, all this medical advancement, and you still have to take shots every year, twice a year, on top of the 2020 jump shot, wiping people out. So you're not advanced. All right, and then when you so-called quote unquote find a cure, it's killing people. Okay, and low key, it's been killing more people and in the lies of, but we ain't gonna get into that, man. You know, the lengths that Esau's willing to go to retain his power is destructive. Okay, so that leads me to, bringing this precept out, and it says Isaiah 47:12 says, "Stand now in thine with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth." Yeah, because their sorceries is their Republic, Democrat, these podcasters. These podcasters are scared to death now because y'all been antagonizing the people for views and getting money and taking these deals. And now, there's a sentiment that people have taken power into their own hands. You know what I'm saying? That people are tired of you getting up there because you're making money. You could call yourself a high-value man, and then at the same time, like the guy Myron, he say he hates Jacob monkeys and this and that, but nobody can do him anything because he has money. But in real life, you can't walk around and call nobody that. Jacob been to drop your ass. But then you got police that'll defend him. Okay? And I'm not encouraging it. What I'm saying is a reality. You can't just talk to people any kind of way. All right? He ain't no king. All right? He ain't in the king's army. Well, he probably is. All right? Them type of people are warlocks for Esau, man. All right? And they judge who is the best warlock, especially in these times. They measure their warlocks based off of social media, man. Whoever can convince the most people, okay? And a person that has the most views, it doesn't just call you and say, hey, you want millions of dollars? Just like this poop putt, Kai Cenat, somebody got in his ear and was like, well, what about Kanye? He got upset. And was like, don't come on my platform or all that, man. How do you have enough intelligence to know to reject that? Because you was told not to talk about it. Because of the people that's paying you. And the monster behind them, the steel curtain, I'd be remiss to mention, is Amalek, man. Okay? I failed to mention. It's Amalek. All right? It's these so-called JEOOs in our land. All right? The 1948ers. That's in our land. All right? 1948 is 1950s is a pivotal time, by the way, man. So much that happened, that transition. That was Esau showing his horns. That was a year that Esau showed his horns via World War II, contraceptives. They really postured up and got in position, But let's get back to the precept. It says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to be able to prevail. But they are using this propaganda train. They're using laws, because this situation with this guy, I'm not going to mention his name because, it's not good to mention his name. Because now that situation happened and you get on the internet talking crazy, there's no more freedom of speech. That amendment shit is dead. Okay? You can't get on here and start saying stuff because they could label you a domestic terrorist. They could label you the problem. And you ain't even do nothing, man. All right? You ain't even do nothing. To even own a weapon will make you a threat. Whether just like Esau try to flip the script nowadays and say, oh, most blacks are more racist than white people. And nobody ain't start the KKK, bro. Ain't nobody go on a campaign of bombing cities, okay? Oklahoma bombings. The city parks that was flooded out and turned into lake towns. Slavery. And it's all based off of dehumanizing Jake, man. All right? Because of who they were as a nation. Nobody did that. All right? If somebody call you an MFer, right? Just as a, term of endearment. I can't say a term of endearment, but as, Jake just said, You know, you know, and they say that all day. Okay, but it hit different when a person's making you do something to your own mother and they call you that. It hit different, don't it? And this is the wiles of the devil. He would not. Truth is not a destination. If everybody's on the left, he's gonna say the truth is on the right. If everybody's on the right, he's gonna say the truth is up. If everybody's up, he's gonna say the truth is down. And he's gonna keep his people down or in the direction of where they at because he knows where he wants everybody to go because he's dictating the pace of everything. Okay, so you know we're in a place where truth is about to spring up, man. Everybody see it, everybody know the truth, but how you gonna get paid? Okay, how you gonna be this person that acquires this mansion and these cars and this woman or this man, you know, and these opportunities to go to this place and eat this and eat that, unless you submit yourself into Esau, man. Okay, how are you gonna accomplish all that? So people bow down. People bow their heads to Nebuchadnezzar, man. You know, people bow their heads to Antiochus. Since we have departed, our life has become misery, man. All right? And then they get into this place. They don't want to feel guilty, so they come up with concepts. Matter of fact, you don't have to come up with a concept. Esau will give it to you. And then you just build off of that. He gives you a template, you know? And you know, you got splicing genders, splicing DNAs. This place is bugged the hell out, man. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man. Okay? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and we're witnessing it. And a lot of people are winking at this wickedness. It's not even winking at folly. You're winking at wickedness at this point, so that you can get your piece of the pie, man. Okay? Like Jake's starting to come up to the realization. There's certain Jake, you know, he said, man, there's no way that we can, you know, Jake, that, you know, they don't believe in the scriptures, or I don't know what they believe in, you know. But they gave a reference of saying, you know, if Jake moved to another country to start their own thing, a lot of Jake wouldn't leave because they're strong in this country. Just like Jake was doing in Babylon, man. They didn't want to leave Babylon, man. You know, they didn't want to leave Babylon and tend to their own. Haggai chapter 1, you know. And a lot of Jake don't want to do that to this day, man. So when you speak out and speak against things that's conducive to your society, Diana and Paul, when Paul was speaking against those idols, they was getting upset because they were selling those idols and making bread, and Paul was condemning that shit, man. Okay? So it's just like us condemning degrees, you know, condemning school. You can homeschool, okay? You can find a way to, you know, do your thing, make money. Jake do it all the time, man. All right? But we're in a system that you can't live off this earth. You got to live off of Esau. You have to go to your enemy for one of all things. Haggai chapter 1, okay? And now people don't understand, all right, that we're in a prison of wickedness, man. You have to be wicked in order to succeed in this society. You have to be an independent woman, especially the N-Dub, specifically the N-Dub, specifically these heathen, because they just want you to work, man. That's all. Meanwhile, they women be at home, man. And if they not at home, they sitting there in positions to govern Jake, man. All right, and they hate Jake. But meanwhile, our women are trying to be like them, dress like them, look like them, and are influenced by them. And these women are chopping y'all down every chance they get, man. Okay? I really don't see Edomite Jake women in Edomite circles. I'm talking about female circles. You don't see Jake women in Edomite female power circles. If you think about it, I'm trying to think about it, man. They may let you play with them. The View, Oprah Winfrey and all that, man. You know, not Oprah Winfrey, Whoopi Goldberg. But they ain't no power circle. That's warlocks and witches. We're talking about CEOs. Okay? You have to build yourself up. They're not going to let you rub shoulders with them, and they ain't going to tell you, come on, okay? But as soon as you get to a certain level, and Esau graft you in, man. And now you feel like they're the best thing since sliced bread. You know, look at Candace Owens. She's been trying to ride for Esau for the longest. And his angle, even though she knows she plays both sides. She's a agent of chaos, you know. And she has some good points. I like a lot of her points, actually. You know what I'm saying? But I do understand that she's a controlled opposition. Ain't no different from Alex Jones. He bring out good points, but he's controlled opposition as well. Okay? All this confusion, even with this situation that happened yesterday, nobody knows if it's an inside job or it's somebody that got fed up. Okay? But you can't speak on it. And then the president pulls down a flag half-staff. That makes me, you know, like, don't you only do that for governments? Only for the government, man. Okay? To pull down a flag half-staff. All right? When does podcasters become that important? I guarantee you if that Negro, you know, Myron dies, they ain't going to do it. Kai Cenat go down, they ain't going to pull down a flag half-staff for him. Right? And they'll try to tell you, oh, it's because of patriotism. It's because of this. There's a lot of people do a lot of things for America. They ain't going to sit there and, you know, a lot of vets that pass. A lot of vets that are neglected and out in the streets that have fought your wars. The scriptures tell you the Lord hates when there's a man of war that suffered poverty, man. All right? But, yeah, man, that's all I wanted to, you know, put out. I don't want to drag it along because, like I said, man, I don't want to say too much on it because, you know, Esau is about to start moving and utilizing the famine of the word. We already can't talk about medical information. That's regulated. Now, politics is about to be regulated, okay, and opinions are about to be regulated. And we ain't talking about our opinions. Well, our opinions about to be regulated, but their statements. When they say something on a political platform, now we can't say, "Oh, I don't like this guy. I hate this guy." Oh, what you gonna do? Like you gonna do him like you did old boy on September 10th? And what are you saying? What are you saying? All right, just like you know the running joke of, you know, Jake used to tell they had a joke that, you know, Jake got the police called on him because he said he was about to go to the bathroom and blow it up, and he was somebody using the bathroom. But ever since 9/11, that statement has, you know, but you still got the amendment. You still got the right to speech. But I feel like you're going to say this and do that. You know, you got Amalek putting up drones, making sure people aren't anti-Semitic. You know, you can't even play a video game and just say what you want to say. The Call of Duty lobby used to be lit. That was just scoffing, but it should be toxic, man. People just yell and curse at each other. Now you get banned. You know what I'm saying? They'll cut you off. You know, you don't own nothing. The video games, every video game that you buy, you technically don't own. They could just keep updating it, and you gotta keep getting it updated. If they shut it down and say we're coming out with a new one, they could just shut that game down. You spent your money for nothing. It ain't like the old days when you had the Nintendo 64. You pop that tape in. I could still, if I had my N64 to this day, I could still pop Smash Brothers in, turn it on and play it without spending a dime. But it's not like that no more because they're finding ways to have full control of everything, and it's encamping around about until the MOTB is going to be the tool to access all these things. You know, because you have no full control. They're streaming. There's no physical disc anymore like that. Sam Goody, that used to be my store, man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be able to go there and access these things. You know what I'm saying? And even if they do, they're gonna create devices to where the MOTB is gonna activate those devices. You know, but Spotify and iTunes and all that. You know, they'll just take music off and eliminate it. You'll never be able to hear it again. Imagine that. And the reason why Jake ain't tripping because you got YouTube. You go on YouTube, listen to the song. But they're showing you as a government, as a corporation, that they'll just take something off the market. All right? Even though it's already established and put out, they'll just take it off the market as though it didn't exist. They're even trying to do it in the education system with critical race theory. It's taking things off the market. But they have a school administration, they have a central hall, having meetings that you don't know about, right? Putting things in books that you don't know about, taking things out of books that you don't know about, lying, all kind of madness. And just because you can go to the town hall, it makes you feel like you're a part of something. But meanwhile, they're passing and doing things behind your back or without your authority. Okay? What the hell are you going to do when they put that third bathroom in the school? What are you going to do? Go up there and yell about it? And because you have the freedom to do that, it makes you feel like you're an American? That bathroom's still going to be there. Okay? In other words, that's how capitalism works. They give you enough freedom to make you feel like you're involved, but at the end of the day, they're going to do what the hell they want to do. And eventually, this MOTB is going to come into play. And people think that Esau ain't that wicked, man. This man is, the MOTB is a disrespect to the Heavenly Father, you know, because he's the creator of all things. He's omnipotent, and Esau's trying to take control of the Lord's greatest creation, which is us human beings, all right? Even in these fucking bodies of everlasting chains of darkness, it's more impressive than any Ford. You don't have a Ford that would, you know, revitalize itself, that would heal itself. Okay? Like if you hit a car and give it a fender bender, the fender don't start, you know, healing itself. Our bodies do that, man. You know what I'm saying? And Esau don't have ability to that technology, but the Lord showed you his great works. But Esau, through his lies, will tell you that the Big Bang Theory and try to bring incredulities to the Lord's creation, and then tell you about cyborgs and pills and this and that to get you to believe in his pseudoscience. You know, this world hates fast to pass away, man. And if this place don't go, the elect shall not be saved, man. But because the elect's sake, the days shall be shortened. Okay? And that's called Lo Yabashim Yahshai. And that's why we as Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, especially brothers that's in this faith, man, make the Lord the first fruit of your labors, man. Make your body a living sacrifice. Come out of her, my people. For this place is polluted, should destroy you with a sword of destruction. Okay? Relationships will destroy you. Work will destroy you. Some things we got to deal with. Some things the Lord allow us to deal with. But understand that we're, you know, aiding to our destruction the more we indulge in the world, man. Okay? Yeah, you can get you a nice car, but that's going to equate to death, and you're going to be tied to working and not be as available to the ministry. Else you're going to be on the street. You have a kid, you can't be on the, you know, like, so we got to focus on the Lord, man. I'm not saying, because I'm a person that's, like, I got a family, man, and I'm speaking from experience, okay? So it'll slow you down, you know what I'm saying? So you young brothers out here, man, focus on the Lord, man. Have faith that the, you know, second coming of Yahweh Shai and the kingdom of heaven is going to be here, and everything that we put off in this world, we're going to gain in the next, okay? Now, if Jake have a kid, man, I'm not telling you to say, kick that kid in the bum and then tell him get the hell on out of here. I'm focused on the kingdom. No, I'm focused on the kingdom, but like the scripture said, if a man can't run his house, how can he run a church? So you gotta be able to, you know, handle your business. All right? Render unto Caesar things unto Caesar. Take your ass to work. Okay? Because there's a certain system. We got to go to our enemy for one of all things. So, you know, in order for us to put these videos up, we got to get money. All right? We got to get money to be on YouTube, to have Wi-Fi. All right? And the more money you make, the easier it is. You know? So, and I'm not inciting Jake to go and get $1 million. I'm just saying, man, we gotta be in the system, man. But don't love it. Use this world as not abusing it. Okay? So with that being said, I'm giving all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to our apostles who are elders who rule well. Blessed salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truths and sincerity. Shalom.